What's up, guys? This is Doctor, and welcome to another episode of the FPL Fantasy. Yes, I'm doing this solo because this is a bonus episode. We'll still bring you the usual episode according to the usual schedule, usually a Thursday or a Friday afternoon with Joe, but I'm doing this to present to you my draft, my latest draft, and I hope you enjoy this episode. This is kind of a test episode, so if it does well, we're gonna do more solo episodes. So if you enjoy this content, drop a like, subscribe. Before going into this episode and before presenting my draft, I wanted to kind of show you what are the goals that I'm trying to aim for this season. This is my previous season's record. As you can see, I've been playing FPL for 15 seasons, and this is going to be my 16th, and I had my highest rank literally last season at 1717. That's my second top 10k finish after the season 2014-2015, where I finished in the top 10k again in the top 8k, and again is 7771. It seems like 1717 or sevens and ones are my lucky numbers, so let's hope we repeat that, and I'll be happy to finish in the top 100k just to keep this kind of record going. Yes, I've been in the top 100k, as you can see, since 2014 and 2015 season, except for 1920 season where I finished 123k. And I mentioned in previous episodes that I finished literally 1 point away from the top 10k the season before the last. So I'm hoping to finish in the top 100k. That's the plan for this season, and let's see how it goes. For now, enjoy the drafts. So I'm building this draft on fpl.team, link in the description if you want to use this website to build your team to start the bench. And as you can see, my current draft is a 4-4-2 draft. Of course, I start with the bench, and the bench, of course, subject to change, but probably Andreas from Fulham, who just moved from Manchester United, will be there at the beginning of the season. A 4.5 starter for Fulham. I think he got an assist or 2 assists in pre-season for Fulham, so why not? We have Nico Williams, who moved from Liverpool to Nottingham Forest. He's a starter playing as a wing back. The 4.5 striker position subject to change, and also the goalkeeper 4.0. I like going with the starter goalkeeper and not changing, especially we have wild cards available for us that we can use whenever there is a goalkeeper issue as well. So there is this wild card in the back pocket. I used to, years back, rotate goalkeepers, but I find it very frustrating because sometimes you have that goalkeeper who holds on the bench, and despite the tougher fixture, and your starting goalkeeper kind of blank. So it's a very frustrating thing to do. So you might as well stick with one goalkeeper and have a 4.0 on the bench. This goalkeeper can be anybody depending on the team news, depending on the injuries, suspensions. We hear that Schmeichel is leaving Leicester and Ward is becoming an option. However, Leicester are looking for a goalkeeper, for a starter goalkeeper, so this goalkeeper can change. But those are kind of the price points that I have in mind: the 4.5, 4.5 midfielder and striker, 4.0 as a bench defender, and a goalkeeper who's basically a fodder, and then I can play with the money around. Moving on to the first defender, as you can see, and as I mentioned, I like to have a spine. Those are kind of the players that are almost non-negotiable, almost, depending on injuries, team news, but I'd like to have a spine of kind of those are the players will almost be guaranteed in my first game week team. And of course, you cannot start. It's, I wouldn't say he's essential, but he's as close as it gets to being essential, and Trent Alexander-Arnold. And of course, joining him in the defense is Cancelo. I'm seeing a lot of people on Twitter discussing bringing in Diaz, maybe Ederson to cover this clean sheet, but for me, Cancelo doesn't only provide clean sheet opportunities, he also provides goal scoring opportunities and also assist opportunities. He's a bonus magnet because he crosses the ball a lot. So for me, Cancelo is almost a locked in my team. I find it very difficult to do a draft without him. I have done a couple of drafts without him, but I think it's very difficult to go without him in the beginning of the season. And the next defender joining them is Reece James. Yes, I'm seeing a lot on Twitter, especially after Tuchel's comments about the commitments of the team, and they lost a lot of defenders, they lost a lot of players with the sanctions and everything. A lot of people are moving off Chelsea players, but I think James provides the perfect value. He's 6.0, he's on some free kicks, some corners, he's very attacking. So on his day, I always say you don't buy the teams, you buy the players. So if James performs and Chelsea loses, let's say 5-3 and James is involved in the 3 goals that Chelsea score, I'll be happy. So when you play FPL, you buy the player, you don't really buy the team. I think I will go with minimum one Chelsea defender regardless what happens in preseason or any comments. Only injuries will make me probably move from James to Chilwell. I would love Chilwell to have him in my team, but I think James is relatively more guaranteed of starts, let's say, because you never know with Tuchel, he might ease in Chilwell throughout the season because of the injuries and just like the injury and the long-term injury that he had. And the last defender next to those defenders, yes, it's not Perisic, it's actually Dyer. Dyer provides a lot of attacking threat that I like. I think he took 4 free kicks last season as well, so he's on some free kicks. So he can take free kicks and he's 5.0, so he's cheaper than Perisic. Perisic, I think he's the best wing back that currently Spurs have. However, I believe he might be possibly eased in, and they have kind of Chelsea in the game week 2. So you never know how it goes with Perisic. It's a wait and see unless he impresses preseason. And I see signals that he might be starting almost every game. I don't think he will start every game. He will be subject to rotation as well. Even if he starts, he will be one of those players that are frustrating own. He can hold. He'll be the James of last season, let's say. He can hold this game week. Next game week, he plays 59 minutes and you go out with 1 point. So Dyer kind of for the minutes. And I'm the type of manager who likes his minutes. To round off the defense, we have Raya as a goalkeeper. It's a 4.5 goalkeeper, and as I mentioned at the end of this draft, that you will see that I have 1 million in the bank. So Raya can become Mendy, can become Ederson, can become anybody, but I like going for this 4.5 option because goalkeepers kind of at the end, if you find the right goalkeeper, and we have the wild card, and Brentford have easy fixtures in the beginning, so if you find the right goalkeeper to get you the points until the first wild card, I think Raya is a good option. I'm not giving him the captaincy, it's just the website doing this for now because the team is not complete yet, but for now it's a 4.5 goalkeeper for me. As you see now, I have added 2 players to the team. Salah, no point talking about him because again, like Trent Alexander-Arnold, I wouldn't say he's essential, but it's as close as it gets, and he's the captaincy for me. He's the captaincy option versus Fulham in game week 1. Martinelli is the next player. He's a 6.0 playing for Arsenal, a team that I think will compete. They are doing great business in the market, and I think there is a bit of a risk of rotation here, but in my opinion, there will be a rotation across the front 3, let's say. Maybe Odegaard is the safest option at 6.5, but he's not as, let's say, explosive as the rest of the players. I think there will be a rotation between Smith Rowe and Martinelli, Saka and Jesus, and Nketiah. So there will be a bit of rotation. Some of them will sit on the bench. Yes, they bought Jesus for an expensive amount, but again, Jesus in almost everybody's draft, he's amazing value, and I will show you later in the forward position. Yes, I do not have Jesus in this draft, but I'll show you how possibly I can jump on the train once it starts going. Naturally, in almost every draft you need enablers, and I see Martinelli and Neto as the enablers for this team that I have in mind. I think they are important to have enablers. Neto, yes, people kind of are talking about Neto like he's gonna be Salah or he's gonna be an absolute flop. At his price point, there is a reason he's 5.5. We wouldn't expect a lot from him. I wouldn't expect a lot from him. He will get an assist, a goal here and there, and I will be happy. I think Wolves started with the front 2. Jimenez went off injured in the last game, so you never know. Maybe Neto will be the starting striker. But Neto is showing great potential for points. I wouldn't expect holes. I'm not going to captain him, but I think he will take along nicely. The next player, you have Luis Diaz. Mane has gone off. I think Luis Diaz, especially if we get a confirmation that Jota will not start the season, Luis Diaz is a lock for me. People are preferring to go with Robo instead, Robertson in the defense. But I think Diaz offers a lot from an attacking point of view. He can score. A goal and assist will almost get him the 3 bonus if Salah doesn't hold. So I think Luis Diaz with those fixtures, I'm probably tripling up on Liverpool with those fixtures. What I like about Luis Diaz, he's also an FPL player. He takes a lot of shots, even from not great positions. So selfishness to a certain extent is nice to have in FPL. Now, here is kind of where really I have a 50-50 decision. I think Harry Kane will start the season relatively better. Well, at least game week 1 better than Haaland. I tweeted about this. I mentioned that Haaland will not hold and will not play 90 minutes in my opinion in game week 1. However, the Bournemouth fixture in game week 2 looks scary. So I see myself starting with probably Haaland because I don't like this kind of yo-yo, let's say, or a zigzag going Haaland, Kane, Kane, Haaland, moving around. Booking transfers usually don't work out well for me, at least because you have injuries, you have suspensions, you have bandwagons that you would like to jump on, and it will cause a hit. And I always say on this channel that a hit, even a free transfer, you would consider it a hit because if you don't spend this transfer, you can spend it elsewhere and enhance your team somewhere else. So I think I will probably start with Haaland at this point, but I can see myself kind of at the deadline doubting myself and having FOMO and might bring Kane in, but for now it's Haaland for me. And to round this up, as you can see, I have Watkins. Watkins has great fixtures. I always complain that Watkins somehow ends up in my team, and he does. They have the fixtures as you can see. They have Bournemouth away and then Everton at home. And as you can see, I have 1.5 million left in the bank. Yes, it's annoying me. I can upgrade somewhere with those 1.5 because Raya can become Mendy, can become Ederson, and I will still have zero point 0.5 left in the bank. Also, if as you can see here, they have Crystal Palace. Arsenal have Crystal Palace and then Leicester, and then they have nice run of fixtures here in game week 3, 4, and 5. So Watkins can become Jesus if Jesus hits the ground running in the first 2 game weeks. So it's kind of a tactical way to have 1.5. Dyer can become Perisic. Again, when you tinker a lot, you want to upgrade here when you want to upgrade there. Yes, I looked at freemium. Watkins can become Kane, but I will have to sacrifice mainly Luis Diaz, and I find it very difficult to sacrifice Luis Diaz. I can simply downgrade Luis Diaz and upgrade Watkins to Harry Kane, and it will give me the freemium. Maybe I'll have to play around a bit with the defense. I have looked at it quite often, so I'm between those two drafts. Is it the freemium or the twomium? But at the moment, I have this draft, and this is my draft with 1.5 million in the bank, and I'm quite happy with it. But I know closer to the deadline, I'll find ways to spend this 1.5 million because I looked at Saka here, for example, instead of Martinelli, but I'll have to sacrifice a zero point 0.5 somewhere. Probably Dyer becomes a 4.5, but I would like a Spurs assets with those fixtures, and again, it's FPL and it's a game, and it would make the games more interesting to watch. I don't want to watch Spurs without kind of having, especially they are one of the most exciting teams to watch this season. Also, I mentioned about Martinelli. Martinelli can become Sancho, can become Rashford. I always talked about structure in our videos, and I think structure is important. This way you can jump on players. Even Neto can become Rashford at this point while I keep Martinelli. So it's a very flexible draft. Dyer can become any defender bar Robertson, let's say. I can also spend the money on the bench if I really want to upgrade. Nico Williams can become an Arsenal defender if I need to. Andreas can become some, let's say, Bailey from Aston Villa. So there are a lot of options. So this is my current draft. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, drop a like, subscribe. We're coming with another episode on Friday with Joe. We're going to talk about some interesting stuff regarding the preseason. So stay tuned. Again, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you on the next episode. But for now, peace.